Hello and welcome to today's episode of Filling the Gap, your one-stop shop for Pacers Gap Year coverage. I'm your host, Andrew Schreiner, and today we are unfortunately talking about another Pacers loss. They fell 135 to 122. The Denver Nuggets led not as much by Nikola Jokic, but instead it was Jamal Murray who absolutely destroyed the game for the Pacers. He scored 52 points on very efficient 19 of 25 shooting and 10 for 11 from three. Jokic was, as always, a very solid player. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists. But I thought they did a pretty good job on him. He's obviously one of, if not the best players in the world. But they sent double teams. That was their primary strategy, was to double him as part of the 13 assists. After the game, Siakam talked about this. He's so tall. He's able to see over those double teams and move the ball on really well, and he's such a good passer. There were a few outlet passes that he threw that were just unbelievable. But what often happened in this game was that Jokic was doubled, the ball was forced out of his hand, and the Nuggets had great ball movement, and it worked its way around the perimeter to Murray, who made all but one of his three-point attempts. I thought they actually did a decent job on Murray, but he was just red hot, and he had a few open shots, but a lot of them were contested, and he just made them, and he made the Pacers pay for doubling Jokic. Now, the game got away quickly. It really turned in the second quarter. It was a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Denver went on a 22-3 run in the final 5 minutes of the second quarter that just blew the game wide open. The Pacers actually won the third and fourth quarters, but that run was the difference. They had some big runs that were primarily led by TJ McConnell and the bench unit, actually. So he was one of, I think, 3 players with a positive plus-minus on the night. But alas, it was not quite enough. And the final 3 minutes played out with the bench being emptied. Other updates, relevant updates for the season. Johnny Furphy made his return. So I actually, just before, said, it might be a little while on Furphy. He was back. But those other guys I mentioned in the previous video were still out and still will be out for a little while. But Furphy returned, and I thought he looked like a guy who was coming out off of an injury. He just didn't seem to be in the flow. He didn't get up any shots in his 16 minutes. And only had 2 rebounds and a turnover as his only statistical contributions. And on the injury front, the Pacers picked up another knock. Ben Shepherd now is out. I don't think it'll be a long-term injury, but he's at least going to miss the game against Chicago. Speaking of, the Pacers' next opponent is the Chicago Bulls, who they played last weekend. And won a thriller, kind of a low scoring for today's NBA contest, 103-101. Pascal Siakam makes the near buzzer beater with just 0.1 seconds left on the clock to give the Pacers the lead and the win. The Bulls are losers of 5 straight. And so this is a good, and 3 of their last 10. And so this is a good get-right game for the Pacers after dropping 2 really solid opponents in Cleveland and Denver. This matchup in Chicago presents an opportunity for the Pacers to get back in the win column and solidify at least a split in the season series with a divisional opponent. So I'll be back breaking that one down before I actually head up to Chicago myself for the weekend. I'm not going for the game, just for fun. So thank you for watching today's episode. Be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.